Hey YouTube, Film Geek here, and today I'm talking about the 1988 film 976 Evil.
Small circle of salt and star within. Adding one insect will punish her sin. The juice of my weed will implant my seed and make you one of my kin.
"976 Evil" is directed by Robert Englund, starring Stephen Jeffers and Patrick O'Brien. The story of 976 Evil goes like this. A bullied teen gains demonic powers after calling a 976 number. Alright, now what is a 976 number, you might be asking yourself? Well, a 976 number started off as a sex hotline, basically. You could call somebody and they'd dirty talk to you over the phone. Now, that developed into something much bigger though. These things actually became everywhere. You had a 976 number for a psychic hotline. You had a 976 number to talk to Mario. You could call Santa Claus. You could call Corey Feldman, for Christ's sakes. Everybody had a 976 number, and those also developed into the 1-900 numbers. This was a pay phone number that you would start off paying something like $5.99 for your first minute, and then something like $1.99 for the next minute, or 99 cents for the next minute, or something like that. They were pretty crazy, to be perfectly honest. So the unique thing about this film was the fact that at the time, this was really topical. The whole idea that you could call this phone number and you could literally talk to the devil. And in doing this, you're given demonic powers. This movie was Robert Englund's first shot at directing, and he was really hoping that 976 Evil was going to lead to many more directorial roles. Unfortunately, the film was not received well. It was both a critical and financial flop. The movie currently sits at Rotten Tomato at a 9%, and the film only grossed $2.9 million after its full run in theaters. Robert didn't direct a film again until 2008's Killer Pad. Now, directing 976 Evil wasn't all bad for Robert Englund. No, not at all, because he actually met his wife, Nancy Booth, while working on this film. In fact, in a bathroom scene, in the graffiti in the background, you can actually see R+N written on the wall. Robert Englund and Nancy Booth are married to this day. So you see, the whole thing wasn't a totally bad experience for Robert Englund. Okay, so what do I love about this movie? Well, first off, this is one of those bullies get their comeuppance in the end, which honestly, I freaking love these movies. This also is just kind of the end of the road for the 1980s horror film. 1988, 1989, things were kind of winding down for the 1980s slasher bloodfest. This film fell into that idea, and unfortunately, it wasn't well received by critics because to them it just felt like just another 80s horror film. However, with the use of the 976 phone number as kind of the conduit to meet up with the devil, and the fact that those phone numbers were so popular at the time that this film was made, it really gave the film a very unique and different vibe. Another great thing about this film is this movie is all of 83 minutes long. The pacing in this film is absolutely phenomenal. The story really takes off and just goes beginning to end, and before you know it, you've got a whole story there, and it really works great. Now, there was some buzz a while back that I heard that there was actually a remake of this film somewhere in the works. Now, honestly, I do not see how this film could actually translate today. The 976 numbers have been dead since the early 2000s. I believe they died out once the internet really got fast. So the whole concept of this film is horribly dated. So the thing that really made this movie unique for horror fans is unfortunately dated. However, it is a really fun little slice of time. The only way I could see this film actually getting a remake, if it is based in the 80s, maybe the film could work, but I don't see how it could work with some kind of internet or something, some kind of website or something like that, webcam or something. I don't think the film could work as well. Anyways, as one of the last of the great 80s horror films, this movie is really good. The downer is it really isn't a super scary movie. It is gory, it's got some great little one-liner quips from the bad guy, so all of your good 80s tropes are there. The unfortunate thing is that it really isn't that scary of a movie. Great story, great acting from beginning to end, but just not a lot of great scares. That doesn't make it a bad movie though. It is a fun film and it makes it a great movie around the Halloween season. If you're just in the mood for a light horror film, nothing that's going to scare you out of your mind or anything like that, then I highly suggest 976 Evil. You can currently find it for rent on services like YouTube, Vudu, Google Movies, and Amazon Prime. Okay guys, that brings us to the end of another Film Geek video. Thanks again for checking things out. If you like what you saw here today, don't forget to hit the subscribe, like the video, hit that bell for notifications, and one last thing guys, as I always like to say, keep watching movies, because you know I'm gonna.